and ability to preach and teach effectively. It is our desire, and Srila Prabhupada's desire especially, that all devotees become Bhaktivedantas. I mean, they should study the scriptures and they should be able to apply the scriptures and also to preach it to others, because if you get something good, it is best to share it with others. I say opportunity shares multiplies, while opportunities withheld diminishes and dies. So it is customary and natural for any compassionate human being to share the knowledge that free him from all kinds of miseries. If something has freed you from miseries, you should be able to share it to others so that others can also take advantage of it and also become free from similar miseries. So this is very important. And that is what we call preaching application, sharing the knowledge with others. To do it effectively, you must study first. Then there is theological application. Theological application. That means to create learned Vaishnava theologians who are adepts at helping society through application of Sanskrit knowledge to a wide range of personal, social, moral, topical, and theological issues. So this is one of the aims, theological application. Then the next aim is faith and conviction. This is to help students build and maintain faith and conviction in the process of Krishna consciousness and in the sastras as its foundation. Okay. So we have to develop that faith, and this study is to help students develop that faith, deep faith, based on sastra. Then authority of sastra. We want to cultivate within devotees a wholehearted acceptance of the authority of sastra as conveyed by our Srila Prabhupada, as well as a mood of respective inquiry and a desire to understand and realize the import of Vedic knowledge. Okay. Then also evaluation. We want to help students develop analytical, interpretative, and evaluative skills, especially in the practical application of Sanskrit knowledge. And also mood and mission. We want to help students understand and appreciate the mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada, and to perpetuate that understanding throughout ISKCON. Mood and mission. When you come across anywhere in any purport where they say, in this Krishna consciousness, or this Krishna consciousness movement is established to that. That is mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada. Anywhere you come across, in this Krishna consciousness movement, or this Krishna consciousness movement is established to do. This is mood and mission. So you understand the mind of Srila Prabhupada for establishing ISKCON. Very, very important. Then academic and moral integrity. To ensure that students develop academic and moral integrity in the interpretation and application of the Sanskrit knowledge. Okay. So that is that. Then also 11, responsibility for learning. We want to encourage students to take responsibility for their learning by developing healthy study habits, by enhancing their desire to study the proper books, and by equipping them with the appropriate learning skills. Sastra Sakshus. The last one, the 12th aim of Sanskrit study is Shastra Chakshus. That is to equip students with the ability to see through the eyes of Shastra and with a Krishna conscious worldview. Ultimately, to help students realize scripture and to see Krishna at all times and in all places. So this is it. We help students to be able to see Krishna in all places and at all times. And in this way, we realize the scriptures we are studying. These are the aims.
Please, Prabhuji, 1 second.
Huh?
Please, are you recording the class? Please.
I think it's in live stream. It's been live streamed. So I think it's recorded.
Okay.
Jamasami is gone. Jamasami is gone. So I don't know how to do the recording. Okay, so in a nutshell, the 12 aims of Sanskrit study: knowledge, understanding, personal application, preaching application, theological application, faith and conviction, authority of Shastra, evaluation, mood and mission, academic and moral integrity, responsibility for learning, and Shastra Chakshus. These are the 12 aims. Having spelled this out, let us go back. This module 2, begins with Canto 4. Module 2 begins with Canto 4. Canto 4. Canto 4. Somebody should tell Kamala that it will get the link if we go to the platform. Or let me briefly share it with you. So while doing that, I will continue to be talking. In the third canto, we talked about one out of the daughters of Swayambhuva Manu. Swayambhuva Manu has 3 daughters. He has 3 daughters and 2 sons. Did you know? Swayambhuva Manu had 3 daughters and 2 sons. 3 daughters, 2 sons. What are the 3 daughters? Or who are the 3 daughters? Devahuti, Akuti, and Prachuti. Swayambhuva Manu had 3 daughters: Devahuti, Akuti, and Prachuti. Then he also had 2 sons: Uttanapad and Priyavrata. Uttanapad and Priyavrata. So in the Canto 3, a lot is said about one of the daughters of Swayambhuva Manu. And who is that? Devahuti. A lot about Devahuti and a lot about our son, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared there as Kapila Muni. And Kapila Muni instructed Devahuti. And we heard a lot about her, how she was handed over in charity to Kadama Muni, and how she begot 8 daughters. Devahuti begot 8 daughters and 1 son, and the son is the Kapila Muni. We talked a lot about the son, but we didn't talk about the daughters. So in this next canto, we are going to talk about the lineage. You know, the lineage from Devahuti's 2 sisters, Akuti and Prachuti. And also we come to talk about the daughters of Devahuti also, and their lineage too. All that constitutes Canto 4. So a lot is there. We have a lot to learn there. Devottees' daughters, who they were married to, and their children, on and on like that. They are all there in the 4th canto. But immediately, let us know that in Canto 3, we started talking about the secondary creation, because the first creation was done by the Lord himself. It's called Swaga. The first creation. That first creation, the Lord himself created all the ingredients, he created all the things that were needed. But there is a secondary creation whereby Brahma, using those ingredients created by the Lord, to start populating the universe. So this is the second creation. And from Canto 3 down, we're going to talk about the second creation. And that's why how this the universe was populated. These are the seeds. Brahma wanted the universe to be populated, and he created the 4 Kumaras. The Kumaras didn't want to go into household life, and Lord Brahma became angry. And Lord Shiva came out, or Rudra came out from his anger. And later, he created Swayambhuva Manu and other sons also. These other sons all become the progenitors of mankind. But we pick Swayambhuva Manu to start with because he was very, very devotional. He was so devoted. He was a serious devotee. So after all, he's the father, is the lawmaker. All the laws of mankind came from him. So he was picked. And the Lord is elaborated. But later we are going to see about the other sons also and how they populated the universe. This is the area we are in Bhagavatam now. So that is it. So in the last chapter or last canto, Canto 3, especially towards the last, devotional service was glorified. And Kapila Muni had to leave. First, Kadama Muni left after generating the children. And Devotee was disturbed that he had not given her a son. So finally he gave her Kapila. And Kapila Muni, being the supreme personality of God, that is capable of liberating the mother. So he instructed his mother about the science of Bhakti. A second. Prabhu, the class is going on. This call is distracting. The link is in the Bhakti Vaibhav platform. No. Okay, let me forward it to you. Please, class, give me a little. Let me forward this link to Chitraketu Putrapa. Done. So devotional service was glorified. The whole of the second part of the 3rd canto is the glorification of devotional service over all others, because all other processes can give you everything, and devotional service can give you everything plus what all other processes cannot give. You see, that which devotional service can give to you that all other processes cannot give is Bhakti. And by Bhakti, you can actually get the supreme personality of God. And so devotional service, the process that enables us to get the supreme personality of God, is highly glorified in the 3rd canto. of Bhagavatam. And you can see how, just like Lord Chaitanya, when Kapila Muni finished instructing Devauti, he left. And Devauti meditated on his instructions and he implemented it. So that feeling of separation, that devotional service in separation, is the highest form of devotional service and Pralamba Seva. And she was remembering him in form of lamentation and chanting, glorifying him, until she became lean. Even though the devotee was in the palace, she didn't see anything in the palace. All her concentration was on the instructions of Kapila. And she eventually attained perfection. She went back home, back to God. So, oh, Ranga. So anyway, it was glorious. The last session was very glorious. A lot of beautiful instructions were there. And you can see that Devotee herself was very, very advanced. So that is it. Now, in the fourth canto, we are going to hear about the fourth creation. And we are going to hear about it in 31 chapters. 31 chapters. The fourth canto, contains 31 chapters, 31. And beginning with the genealogical table of the daughters of Manu, and ending with how Narada Muni instructed the Prasitas. So in between the first and the last chapters, we are going to hear about how Daksha caused Lord Shiva, talks between Lord Shiva and Sati, how Sati quits her body, the frustration of the sacrifice of Daksha, because Sati did not get children because she quit her body early. Yes, because her husband was being insulted, and she decided to give the body that was given by Daksha. She decided to renounce the body at a young age. So she did not have children. So there is no lineage coming from there. So we are going to hear about how Brahma satisfied Lord Shiva, how the sacrifice performed by Daksha, what happened there. Then immediately after that, we are going to hear about Dhruva Maharaj, how he left home for the forest, how he returned home, how Dhruva Maharaj fought with the Yakshas, how Swayambhuva Manu advised Dhruva Maharaj to stop fighting, how Dhruva Maharaj go back home back to Godhead, and also a description of the descendants of Dhruva Maharaj. Then immediately after that, we are going to hear about King Prithu also. King Prithu, we are going to hear about him in about 11 chapters. Yes. We'll hear about the story of King Vena. You know, how King Prithu appeared and how he got coronated. And how King Prithu was praised by the professional reciters. How Maharaj Prithu became angry at the earth. How Prithu Maharaj made, the earth's planets. And how King Prithu performed 100 horse sacrifice. And how Lord Vishnu appeared in the sacrificial arena of Maharaj Prithu. We are going to hear all this. And not only that, we are going to hear about the instructions given by Prithu and how Prithu Maharaj met with the 4 Kumaras. We are going to hear all that. And how Maharaj Prithu went back home, back to Godhead. Then we are going to see the songs sung by Lord Shiva. We're going to hear them from the Prasitas. Then we're going to hear about the description of the characteristics of King Puranjana. King Puranjana Baba, we're going to hear about him. And actually, apart from these units, I'm going to take King Puranjana, unless some powerful gurus come and they insist that they want to take it. Only then will I renounce it. I'm attached to taking King Puranjana. If any powerful guru comes, I say, if that is the chapter you want, that's the unit you want, of course, I will bow. But before then, you see, I will even do in a way that from the onset, I let them know that that has been taken, that has been taken, that has been taken. I will play diplomacy to see that I get that chapter anyway. But if they insist, I will surrender it to them. So we are going to hear about the characteristics of King Puranjana. Then how King Puranjana went to the forest to hunt and how his queen became angry. Then we hear about the attack of Chandavik on the city of King Puranjana. The attack of Chandavega on the city of King Puranjana. We are going to hear about that. Then how we are going to hear about how King Puranjana became a woman in his next life. That takes us to the 29th chapter. Chapter 29. We are going to hear about talks between Narada Muni and King Prashinabari. Then in 30, we are going to hear about the activities of the preceptors. Then 31, of course, we'll hear the instructions of Narada Muni to King Prashinabari. Or to wait. Yes. Yes, how Narada instructed the Prachetas. We are going to hear about it. So all this is there. Okay? So let us dive into it. Let's not waste more time. Let us dive into the subject matter of the fourth canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, first chapter, the genealogical table. That means the lineage.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Sorry for the interruption. Please, the student handbook for this module 2.
Yeah.
Have you sent it to us? Or?
What is happening is that myself, I don't have the soft copy. I approached His Grace River Das Vanachari, and he said his Apple laptop does not take pen drive. He can only send it to me on email. And I gave him my email. He said he forwarded it there, but I didn't see it. So if you have any functioning email at the end of today's class, you can forward it to me so that I will forward it to him. This morning I told him like that also. In case my own don't go, I will take from the students and forward it to him so that he can send it to that email. Then the student will now share it with me also. And with every other person. Send it to the platform. So in this way, somehow or the other, we are going to get it. We are going to get it today. Yes, somehow or the other. It's very important. Okay? So send me your emails. If you have email, a working email where you know the password. Because email people, they are very, very clever. Sometimes they can just say the password you have been using, they say it's not correct. So I don't know that's whether what is happening to me. So if you have a valid email, kindly send it to me before the end of this class. Kamalaji, YouTube is seeing you as you are yawning. You want to create your own universe.
I'll do this for you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
When we look through the mouth of Krishna, we saw the whole universe. Kamandara, he saw us the universe. Can you show us the whole universe? Are you sure? Otherwise, conduct yourself. YouTube is seeing you. Okay. So let's go into the test proper now. Maitreya Uvacha Manostu Satarupayam Tisra Kanyascha Jagnire Akuti Devautischa Prasuti Iti Visruta. Sri Maitreya said, Swayambhuva Manu begot 3 daughters in his wife Satarupa, and their names were Akuti, Devauti, and Prasuti. You got it? Swayambhuva Manu begot 3 daughters in his wife Satarupa, and their names were Akuti, Devauti, and Prasuti. So Swayambhuva's wife, Manu's wife, was Satarupa, and she begot three daughters, Akuti, Devauti, and Prasuti. So before we go into that, let us follow the prayer. Let us recite the prayer. Let us enter into the prayerful mood with which Srila Prabhupada himself entered into this 4th canto. And it is elaborated in the purport. First of all, let us offer our respectful obeisances unto our spiritual master, Om Vishnupad, Sri Sriman Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, by whose order I am engaged in this Herculean task of writing commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam. Chitra, you should mute. Mute your... Okay, I will mute you. No need for talking. Yes. By His grace, we have finished the 3 cantos already. And we are just trying to begin the 4th canto. By His divine grace, let us offer our respectful obeisances unto Lord Chaitanya, who began this Krishna consciousness movement of Bhagavad Dhamma 500 years ago. And through His grace, let us offer our obeisances to the 6 Goswamis. And then let us offer our obeisances to Radha and Krishna, the spiritual couple who enjoyed eternally in Vrindavan with their cowherd boys and damsels in Vrajabhumi. Let us also offer our respectful obeisances to all the devotees and eternal devotees, eternal servitors of the Supreme Lord. In this 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 31 chapters. And all these chapters describe the secondary creation by Brahma and the Manus. The Supreme Lord himself does the recreation by agitating his material energy. And then, by his order, Brahma, the first living creature in the universe, attempts to create the different planetary systems and their inhabitants, expanding the population through this progeny, like Manu and other progenitors of living entities, who work perpetually under the order of the Supreme Lord. In the 1st chapter of this 4th canto, there are descriptions of the 3 daughters of Swayambhuva Manu. This overview, and their descendants. So this 4th canto, you see what you are going to deal with? In the 1st canto, in the first chapter of this 4th canto, there are descriptions of the 3 daughters of Swayambhuva Manu and their descendants. Who are these 3 daughters? Can somebody tell us the name of the 3 daughters?
Akuti, and Prasuti.
Huh?
Devahuti, Prasuti.
And Prasuti. Okay. Very good. Ghana Sindhu Prabhu, you don't belong to this class. So today we can tolerate you as a guest since you use your data. But after that, unless you have enough data to spend. Okay. The 3 daughters of Swayambhuva Manu are Devahuti, or Akuti, and Prasuti. 3 of them. or Akuti, Devauti, Prashuti. Very sweet. T. Rhythmical, something very poetical. Devauti, Akuti, and Prashuti. Okay? The next six chapters, the sacrifice performed by King Daksha and how it was spoiled. The next 6 chapters, the sacrifice performed by King Daksha and how it was spoiled. Thereafter, the activities of, I think those 6 chapters constitute the first unit, the unit I'm taking. Then somebody else will take the next unit. This is thereafter, the activities of Maradruva are described in 5 chapters. That is 5 chapters after Daksha Jagya described Dhruva Maharaj and his activities. Then in 11 chapters, you can see this is a bigger unit. Then in 11 chapters, the activities of King Prithu are described. The activities of King Prithu alone constitute 11 chapters. So it's a big unit. They are described. And the next 8 chapters are devoted to the activities of the Prashetas, or the Prasheta kings. That is King Prashinabarisat and his sons. As described in the first verse of this chapter, Swayambhuva Manu had 3 daughters named Akuti, Devauti, and Prasuti. Of these 3 daughters, one daughter, Devauti, has already been described along with her husband, Kadamamuni, and her son, Kapilamuni. That is Canto 3. The last chapters of Canto 3, the last 2 units of Canto 3, talk about Devauti, her husband, Kadamamuni, their son, Kapila. So all details about her lineage is given, but discussions about the daughters, she had 8 daughters. Those discussions were not given. So they are going to be added in this particular chapter. Okay? So that is it. Swayambhuva Manu was the son of Brahma. Who was the father of Swayambhuva Manu?
Brahma.
Brahma had many other sons, but Manu's name is specifically mentioned first because he was a great devotee of the Lord. In this verse, there is also the word cha, indicating that besides the 3 daughters mentioned, Swayambhuva Manu also had 2 sons. Who can remember the names of these 2 sons?
Priyavrata and Uttamapad.
Uttanapad and Priyavrata. Great. So in this fourth canto, Priyavrata and the lineage, no, Uttanapad and the lineage from Uttanapad will be described. Then in the 5th canto, Priyavrata and the lineage from Priyavrata will be discussed. You see? All the others are important. All the other sons are important. But as the narration goes, those that are most relevant, they are the ones picked out for discussion. Otherwise, all the other sons are very, 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 very important. Because they were all great devotees also. And you cannot discuss all of them. That's why the Bhagavatam in the heavenly planet is more elaborate. Because they describe many details there. But what is necessary, what is relevant for us, is what is being focused on here. So that is the end of test 1. Any question on this before we go to the next? Okay, so get it right. the summary is very, very sweet. And the purport is so sweet. First, we saw the ecstasy of Srila Prabhupada. He was happy to have completed the first, 3 cantos. And he attributed all his success to his spiritual master. And he invoked the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and the entire Paramparam. It's by their mercy that he was able to complete the 3rd canto. And he invoked their mercy to be able to continue with the 4th canto. And we are saying that in the 4th canto is going to elaborate on the lineage coming from Uttanapat. And also it will elaborate on the lineage coming from the daughters, Akuti and Prachuti, daughters of Swayambhuva Manu. The lineage from them we described. So let us see the next test. Can somebody read the next test, Prabhu? It's a very critical test because the purport contains some technical, points there. Somebody should read the Sanskrit and the translation.
Is it test number 2?
Yes.
Akutim Chaye Pradat Api Bratri Matrim Nirpa Utreka Damam Ashritya Sataropanu Mauditaha. Translation. Akuti had 2 brothers, but in spite of her brothers, King Swayambhuva Manu handed her over to Prajapati Ruchi on the condition that the son born of her be returned to Manu as his son. This he did in consultation with his wife, Satarupa. Purport.
Continue with the purport. Continue.
Sometimes a sonless person offers his daughter to a husband on the condition that his grandson be returned to him to be adopted as his son and inherit his property. This is called Putrika Dharma, which means that by execution of religious rituals, one gets a son, although one is sonless by one's own wife. But here we see extraordinary behavior in Manu. For in spite of his having 2 sons, he handed over his first daughter to Prajapati Ruchi on the condition that the son born of his daughter be returned to him as his son. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur.
No. Stop first.
Yes, sir.
Why do you think that he did that? Why do you think that he did that? What is your thought about this?
So that the lineage can continue.
Because at that time, they used to marry to brothers and all. They used to marry to brothers and all, because they were just beginning. So a brother can marry his sister.
No,
It's now that it is becoming abominable because there are so many people now. But that time, they used to marry you. Instead of marrying into his own sons, he decided to give her to someone else. And that person he gave her to, on the condition that he should bring the son that will come out of her to him. You give birth to the son, we will take the son. And that was the condition. Why did he have to do that? If you read the purport further, we are going to get the answer, but I want us to don't read it before answer, please. Yes,
because he knew that the son that will be born out of this union will be an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Oh, you have read this place. I said you should not read now.
No.
You have read the place. I said you should not read.
Not yet.
Okay.
I don't even have the book with me.
You read ahead, so you already read it before today. Okay, no problem, no problem. That's how it's supposed to be. You know, students should study ahead so that they will already be abreast. Okay. So thank you very much, Ralaman Baba. You have hit the point, so there's no need to to waste time on it again. Continue with the reading.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments in this connection that King Manu knew that the Supreme Personality of Godhead would take birth in the womb of Akuti. Therefore, in spite of having two sons, he wanted the particular son born of Akuti because he was ambitious to have the Supreme Personality of Godhead appear as his son and grandson. Manu is the lawgiver of mankind, and since he personally executed the Putrika Dharma, we may accept that such a system may be adopted by mankind also. Thus, even though one has a son, if one wants to have a particular son from one's daughter, one may give one's daughter in charity on that condition. That is the opinion of Srila Jiva Goswami. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Thank you. So that was the reason why he knew that the Supreme Personality of God was going to come, and he had special interests. So he said, return the son. But something happened, luckily, because the Supreme Personality of God doesn't come alone. When he's coming with his consorts also. So instead of giving birth to his son alone, he gave birth to his son and a daughter. And the daughter remained with the father while the son was returned. Hare Krishna, give me a few seconds. Hare Krishna. Forgive me for the Italian. Okay. So can we go to the next test, unless you have some critical point you want to discuss on this? But let's read the next verse so that we see the relationship. Can somebody read? Somebody else apart from Yadu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Read.
I think most of us don't have the book now, unless we display it on the screen.
Okay. Those who don't have the books, please confess so that we can know you. When we know you, we will not be calling you to read for today. But at the end of today, you should try to download Pocket Veda. In the Pocket Veda, everything is inside. Me, I'm reading from the Pocket Veda. This phone, see, this is Pocket Veda I'm reading from. So, okay, let me continue then. Test 3.
I also don't have it. So.
Prajapatis Bhagavan, Rushis Tasyam Ajijanat, Mentunam Brahma Varshasri, Paramena Samadhina. Ruchi, who was very powerful in his Brahmanical qualifications and was appointed one of the progenitors of the living entities, he got one son and one daughter by his wife Akuti. So, first, Ruchi is the husband of Akuti. Akuti was handed over to Ruchi. Akuti. Devahuti first was handed over to Kadamamuni. Okay? Kadamamuni. Then they begot the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kapila Dev. Now, Akuti is handed over to Ruchi. And they begot the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality of Godhead came through them as Jagya. You see? And he didn't come alone. He came with his consorts, who is a daughter, Dakshina. So, can somebody read the purport now? Somebody should read the purport, please, of test 3. Chitra, are you there?
I'm there, but I was saying that I also don't have the book. My
Okay, so you are confessing also.
Yeah, my Bhagavatam is somewhere.
It's okay. 2 people have confessed of not having the books. Any other person to confess so that will not be bothering you to read. Otherwise, Rasavan Prabhu, start reading. No, you leave them first.
No,
If you don't have the book and you don't confess, we catch you by telling you to read. Oh yeah, Rasavanji, read.
Yeah. No, I told you beforehand that I don't have the book.
Oh, the third confession has taken place. 3 people have confessed they don't have the book. If you have confessed proactively, wouldn't have. This one you are caught, you are fished out. Okay, very good. Gia, do you want to read?
The word Brahmachari is very significant. Ruchi was a Brahmana and he executed the Brahmanical duties very rigidly. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, the Brahmanical qualifications are control of the senses, control of the mind, cleanliness within and without, development of spiritual and material knowledge, simplicity, truthfulness, faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, etc. There are many qualities which indicate a Brahmanical personality, and it is understood that Ruchi followed all the Brahmanical principles rigidly. Therefore, he is specifically mentioned. Sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, are you ready? Yes. A little bit distraction.
Don't worry, we understand. Only tell your Harina team to observe some silence when you are reading.
Therefore, he is specifically mentioned as Brahma Chaswi, one who is born of a Brahmana father, but does not act as a Brahmana. He is called in Vedic knowledge a Brahma Bandhu, and is calculated to be on the level of Shudras and women. Thus, in the Bhagavatam, we find that Mahabharata was specifically compiled by Vyasadeva for Stri, Shudra, Brahma Bandhu. Stri means women. Shudra means the lower class of civilized human society. And Brahma Bandhu means persons who are born in the families of Brahmanas. but do not follow the rules and regulations carefully. These three classes are called less intelligent. They have no access to the study of the Vedas, which are specifically meant for persons who have acquired the Brahmanical qualifications. This restrictions is based not upon any sectarian distinction, but upon qualification. The Vedic literatures cannot be understood unless one has developed the Brahmanical qualifications. It is regrettable, therefore, that persons who have no Brahmanical qualifications and have never been trained under a bona fide spiritual master nevertheless comment on Vedic literatures like the Srimad Bhagavatam and other Puranas. For such persons cannot deliver their real message. Ruchi was considered a first-class Brahmana. Therefore, he is mentioned here as Brahma Varchasri, one who had full prowess in Brahmanical strength. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We can understand your situation. You are in the public, yet you manage to be active. So thank you very much for that. Yes. Can somebody explain what you understand by Brahma Varchasvi? Brahma Varchasvi. Somebody should explain to us the meaning of Brahma Varchasvi. Brahma Varchasvi means one who had full prowess in Brahmanical strength. You cannot have full prowess in Brahmanical strength if you don't have all the qualities of a Brahmana. So it is very interesting that this person called Ruchi was highly placed. He was a highly qualified Brahmana. Qualified, complete, was a complete Brahmana. Complete Brahmana, a Brahmana who was, you know, very well situated in
Excuse me.
Hare Krishna.
You see, the Brahman Shashat is one who has full strength in Brahmanica.
Okay, yes. Yes, Brahma Varchasvi. Varchasvi, Varchasvi. It's one who had full prowess in Brahmanical strength. One who has full prowess in Brahmanical strength. And you cannot have full prowess in Brahmanical strength unless you are qualified. You know, in all the qualities, you have all the attributes of a Brahmana. Practically speaking, you are a realized Brahmana. And what are these attributes? Some of them mentioned here are, according to how they are mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, control of the senses. That means Ruchi had full control of the senses. Control of the mind. That means Ruchi had full control of his mind. Then cleanliness within and without. Ruchi was clean from within and from without. That means externally, he was always taking his bath, everything around him is clean, the mode of goodness. Internally, he was constantly meditating on the Lord. His mind was constantly associated with the holy name, chanting, meditating on the pastimes of the Lord. So he was both externally and internally clean. He had no other meditation, he had no other business than the business of the Lord. Then development of spiritual and material knowledge. He was very vast in the knowledge of the Shastras. So he see with the eyes of Shastra. Then simplicity. He was simple. The truthfulness, he was truthful. Faith in the Supreme Personality of God. He had firm faith in the Supreme Personality of God. And many other qualities, but these few ones were mentioned. So Ruchi said there are many qualities which indicate a Brahmanical personality, and it is understood that Ruchi followed all the Brahmanical principles rigidly. Therefore, he is specifically mentioned as Brahma Varchasvi, one who is But on the other hand, those who are born into Brahmana family but do not have the qualities, they are called Brahma Bandhus. The world is full of Brahma Bandhus now. And these Brahma Bandhus, unfortunately, are trying to interpret scriptures. And this is causing problem. They become the blind leading the blind. Just because you are born into a Brahmana family, you want to be seen as a Brahmana, even though you don't have the qualification. So, but Ruchi's case was completely different. And therefore, he was given Akuti. And in the process, he gave birth to Jagya. Okay, let's go ahead. Yes, the next verse. Yastayo Purusa Saksat Vishnu Jagya Swarupadrik Yasrisa Dakshina Bhute Amsa Bhutanapayini. Of the two children born of Akuti, the male child was directly an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and his name was Jagya, which is another name for Lord Vishnu. The female child was a partial incarnation of Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, the eternal consort of Lord Vishnu. So Vishnu came, and he came with his consorts. And even though the Vishnu or Jagya was sent back to Swayambhuva Manu for him to bring him up, Lakshmi was left. Lakshmi expansion, Dakshina was left with the father. And she was so qualified. Eventually, she and Rishi got, she and Jagya got married. Because it's Lakshmi. Lakshmi cannot be separated from Vishnu. Eventually, they found themselves again. They got married. And a lot of powerful children came from them. So purport, Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, is the eternal consort of Lord Vishnu. Here it is stated that both the Lord and Lakshmi, who are eternal consorts, appeared from Akuti simultaneously. Both the Lord and his consort are beyond this material creation, as confirmed by many authorities. Narayana Parobhya Tat. Therefore, their eternal relationship cannot be changed. And Jagya, the boy born of Akuti, later married the goddess of fortune. So this is very powerful arrangement to populate the universe with qualified people. And it was the strong desire of Lord Brahma. And things were not happening fast. But when Swayambhuva Manu and the rest agreed to populate, Brahma became very, very happy. And they started distributing to qualified children. Even the Bhauti, all our daughters were given to highly qualified sages, powerful sages. And you will see later, their names are there in this particular country, later chapters. Okay. Let's continue the next verse. Aniye swagriam putram vitata rosisam swayambhuva muda yukto ruchi jagrahadakshinam. Swayambhuva Manu very gladly brought home the beautiful boy named Jagya, and Ruchi, his son-in-law, kept with him the daughter Dakshina. So Swayambhuva Manu was very glad to see that his daughter Akuti had given birth to both a boy and girl. He was afraid that he would take one son, and that because of his son-in-law, Ruchi might be sorry. Thus, when he heard that a daughter was born along with the boy, he was very glad. Ruchi, according to his promise, returned his male child to Swayambhuva Manu and decided to keep the daughter, whose name was Dakshina. One of Lord Vishnu's names is Jagya, because he is the master of all Vedas. The name Jagia comes from Yajusam Pati, which means Lord of all sacrifices. In the Yajurveda, there are different ritualistic prescriptions for performing Jagyas, and the beneficiary of all such Jagyas is the Supreme Lord Vishnu. Therefore, it is stated in Bhagavad Gita 3:9, Jagyata Karmanaha, wants to act, but wants to perform one's prescribed duty only for the sake of Jagya or Vishnu. If one does not act for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or if one does not perform devotional service, then there will be reactions to all one's activities. It does not matter if the reaction is good or bad. If our activities are not dovetailed with the desire of the Supreme Lord, or if we do not act in Krishna consciousness, then we shall be responsible for the result of our activities. There is always a reaction to every kind of action. But if actions are performed for Jagya, there is no reaction. Thus, if one asks for Jagya or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one is not entangled in the material conditions. For it is mentioned in the Vedas and also in Bhagavad Gita that the Vedas and the Vedic rituals are all meant for understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. From the very beginning, once you try to act in Krishna consciousness, that will free one from the reactions of material activities. So that is it. Any question on this? Otherwise, we read a few more verses and we close for today. Today being introductory, we don't want to spend too much time. And the next class, Bhakti Sastri class, is coming up by 9 o'clock Ghana time, or 10 o'clock Nigerian time. So we read few more verses, then we can close for today. Maybe 2 more verses, we can close for today. Hare Krishna. Here we are in the next verse. Tam Kamayanam Bhagavan Ubahaya Jusampati Tustayam to Samapano Yanaya Dwadasatmajam. The Lord of the ritualistic performance of Jagya later married Dakshina. The Lord of the ritualistic performance of Jagya later married Dakshina. That means Jagya married Dakshina. Because Dakshina is, Jagya is Vishnu's expansion, Dakshina is Lakshmi's expansion. So they were meant for each other, they are consorts. So no question of somebody else marrying her. Who was anxious to have the personality of Godhead as her husband. and in this wife, the Lord was also very much pleased to beget 12 children. They had 12 children, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 5, not 5, not 6. A dozen of children. A dozen, full dozen. Translation or purport. An ideal husband and wife are generally called Lakshmi Narayan. When husband and wife are ideal, they are called Lakshmi Narayan because that is how it's supposed to be. If the husband is like Vishnu in qualities and the wife is like Lakshmi in qualities, they are actually Lakshmi Narayan. The goddess of fortune will be in that house. Bhakti Ato and Jana Sindhu Prabhu, you are welcome to our today's class. You are guests. You are welcome as guests to our today's class. And we thank you for at least sacrificing your data to be with us. It's Krishna's mercy that 2 of you are here to associate with the senior class. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Babuji. Prabhu, I'm lost. The book that is being read.
Oh, that's why you don't need to ask questions. These people you are seeing here, they have studied the first 3 cantos of Bhagavatam systematically. The first 3 cantos they have studied, and now they are in the 4th canto,
Sir.
4th, 5th, and 6th. Then it's a complete module for Bhakti Vaibhav. So this is a senior class, the class, postgraduate class after Bhakti Sastri. So that's why we welcome you as guests. The persons you are seeing there, they have all done the first 3 cantos systematically. They did Bhakti Sastri long ago, and they have done the first 6 cantos, 3 cantos of Bhakti Vaibhav. And now they are in the second half of their course, and you join them. So it is right that you are lost. You are sincere.
Yes,
Okay?
sir.
Thank you very much for being sincere. Haribo!
Yes, sir. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Okay. So just listen as a honorable guest. An ideal husband and wife are generally called Lakshmi Narayan to compare them to the Lord and the goddess of fortune, for it is significant that Lakshmi Narayan are forever happy as husband and wife. A wife should always remain satisfied with her husband, and a husband should always remain satisfied with his wife. In the Chanakya Sloka, the moral instructions of Chanakya Pandit, it is said that if a husband and wife are always satisfied with one another, then the goddess of fortune automatically comes. In other words, where there is no disagreement between husband and wife, all material opulence is present, and good children are born. Generally, according to Vedic civilization, the wife is trained to be satisfied in all conditions. And the husband, according to Vedic instructions, is required to please his wife with sufficient food, ornaments, and clothing. Then, if they are satisfied with their mutual dealings, good children are born. In this way, the entire world can become peaceful. But unfortunately, in this age of Kali, there are no ideal husbands and wives. Therefore, unwanted children are produced. And there is no peace and prosperity in the present day world. Hare Krishna. So we can see the basis of the present population, why there is confusion everywhere, why there's a lot of problems between husbands and wives, where there is a lot of cases of divorce, and all those things were completely non-existent in the Vedic culture. Non-existent. But today, they are there because the husbands are not qualified, the wives are not qualified. 2 unqualified people come together and marry themselves. What do you expect? Unqualified results. And this is what is going on. You see, many people want to, the actual qualified husband is Vishnu, and the actual qualified wife is Lakshmi. That means once you have the characteristics of a Vishnu to be a qualified husband, so be ready to be able to be satisfied with whatever comes his way, and at the same time be able to provide for his wife all that is needed: good food, ornaments, protection, and everything that a woman requires to be able to provide. But unfortunately, the men want to be worshipped, but they can't provide any of these things. And therefore, the women are not satisfied. The women also do not have the quality of chastity and service to the husband, and all that, being satisfied with whatever is being presented by the husband. So they don't have it. They want to compare. They want to compare men to other men. So don't you see that man? It's a man like you call yourself a man, but look at what he has. You don't have anything. You cannot even provide ornaments for me. Don't you see the phone that this gay woman is? They have a car even. The woman has a car. You, the man, my husband, you don't even have a car. What to talk of, other things. You don't even have a house, you are renting. You say you want to become my husband. They are not satisfied with what is available. They are comparing and they want those other things. So they move out of their chastity cycle and they bring all the bad luck to the house. You see, so this is happening and this is the basis. The men are not qualified, the women are not qualified, therefore they bring unwanted children and these children have populated the whole world and they in turn produce their kinds and the network, they produce a network of unqualified people and therefore the whole world is full of unqualified people, unqualified husband and wife. And they want to justify any weakness they have. Their ego is big. Boom. They cannot take any correction. Nobody is ready to, So this is the basis for Varna Sankara. And but Jagya was not like that. And Dakshina was not like that. And generally, if the husband is satisfied and the woman is satisfied, good children will come and there will be prosperity and the goddess of fortune will definitely visit the house. Yes, the goddess of fortune will visit the house. According to Chanakya Pandit specifically, he mentions certain things. That one is just one of them. He said, where fools are not worshipped, where fools are not worshipped. He said that the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, personally resides in the place where fools and rascals are not worshipped, where full grains are kept in abundance, and where there is no quarrel between husband and wife. Where there is abundance of full grains, where fools and rascals are not worshipped, and where there is no quarrel between husbands and wives, the goddess of fortune resides there naturally. But the reverse is what we are seeing today, and we are expecting happiness. We are expecting happiness when the foundation is on happiness. It is like self-deceit. You see? The culture is weapon culture. People spend a lot of money buying weapons, and you must use the weapons to fight. Because your first ego will be inflated and you don't know me. Do you know how many weapons I have? And you are talking to me anyhow. I will use my weapon on you. Then small thing make him become very angry because he's remembering the kind of weapons he has. You want to go and use them with the slightest provocation. The other one will also remember the weapons he has. So he wants to, this guy doesn't know who I am. First you go based on weapon. First you go based on accumulation of acquisition of weapon. What is going on? False prestige. Do you know how many houses I have? You are talking to me like this. Do you know how many cars I have? And you are talking to me like, am I your mate? Am I your mate? You don't have any, you don't even have Okada. And you see the type of cars I have. You're supposed to respect me and bow down to me. In this way, there is conflict. People have traded community for commodity. And that's why they are stealing. They are stealing all the people's money. Because all the people's money in the hand of government are supposed to be, they are meant for the citizens. Understand? They collect taxes from the citizens and use that tax to gather things for themselves instead of sending it back to the citizens when the citizens are in need. Understand? That is the whole idea of the sun drying up water. The sun evaporates water from the sea, from the oceans, from everywhere, and when there is need, the same sun will, the water will condense and form cloud and it is sent back as rain. This is the principle of taxation. Government can take taxes from people, from the citizens, but they should use it to develop, to make infrastructure available for the citizens. See, but you don't care. provided you have enough for yourself. You can fly your children abroad to go to school, and you don't care for the type of schools that are available here. So if you do that, you are not qualified, a leader. You have traded community for commodity. You have traded truth for propaganda. You have traded loyalty for popularity. You have traded love for lust. You have traded sincerity for duplicity. You have traded, everything tradable. Therefore, you cannot be happy because there is misplacement of everything. There is allocative inefficiency, and everything becomes the blind leading the blind, and they all fall into the same ditch. This is what is going on. So this should not be. It is happening in society, it's happening in organizations, it's happening in individuals' life. So there should be transformation. Individually, we should evolve beyond this level of selfishness or putting ourselves in the center. Let us remove ourselves from the center, because the center actually belongs to Krishna. You see? So whatever is meant for the people, whatever we are there to serve the people. So get the thing and use it to create levels that everybody will benefit from. If you do that, then you are qualified to exact taxes. The goddess of fortune will continue to reside in your home. So we make ourselves available somehow or the other. You will not lack. But in the absence of this, you want a good result when the foundation is very poor, then you can't get it. It amounts to self-deceit. So, brothers and sisters, we can make a difference, because the individual is the microcosm of the community. A community is no community if there are no people. It is the people that make the community, and the community in turn makes the people. And in terms of leadership also, it is the people that make the leader, and the leader makes the people also. So, yeah, if the individuals become evolved in consciousness, then the community will be made up of evolved individuals. And these evolved individuals will affect the nation. And a nation made up of evolved individuals will affect the whole world. So the individual transforming his consciousness is the most critical factor, because it's the individual that make up the nation, and the nations make up the world. So if the individual can change in their consciousness, they'll be good everywhere. That change should be experienced in our interpersonal dealings with others also. So this is the purport of this. The husband must be qualified, and the wife must be qualified. And you see the basic definition of or qualification expected. That see, it is said, a wife should always remain satisfied with her husband, and the husband should always remain satisfied with his wife. In the Chanakya sloka, the moral instructions of Chanakya Pandit, it is said that if a husband and wife are always satisfied with one another, then the goddess of fortune automatically comes. In other words, where there is no disagreement between husband and wife, all material opulence is present, and good children are born. Okay, so this is it. Let us qualify ourselves, and we expect the best. Go, Ranga. Now, let's read this at the last text for today. Tosa pratosa santoso badra santi idaspati idimna kavi vibu swana sudevo rochano dvisat. The 12 boys born of Jagya and Dakshina were named Tosa. Dakshina, Jagya and Dakshina had 12 children. They are all boys. They were all boys. The 12 boys born of Jagia and Dashina were named Tosa, Pratosa, Santosa, Badra, Santi, Idaspati, Idima, Kavi, Vibu, Swana, Sudeva, and Rochana. These were their names. No purpose. So genealogical table, most of this and that, there are no elaborate purpose. So let us read the next one. Anyone that has purpose, okay, the next one has purpose. So after the purpose, we can stop. Tusita namate deva, tusita namate deva, asan swayam bubantare, marishi misra risayo, jagyasura ganeswara. Stop that song, please. During the time of Swayambhuva Manu, these sons all became the demigods, collectively named the Two-Sitters. So there were a set of group of demigods called Two-Sitters. So during the time of Swayambhuva Manu, these 12 sons of Jagya were called the Two-Sitters. Marishi became the heads of the 7 rishis, and Jagya became the king of the demigods, Indra. Jagya became the Indra, then Marishi became the head of the 7 great sages. This is a universal setting, universal administration. Every administration, they are set. There is an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then there are the 7 rishis. Then, there is the king of the demigods. So let me read this purpose as the last purpose for today. During the life of Swayambhuva Manu, 6 kinds of living entities were generated from the demigods, known as the Two-Sitters, from the sages headed by Marishi, and from descendants of Jagya, king of the demigods, and all of them expanded their progeny to observe the order of the laws to fill the universe with living entities. These 6 kinds of living entities are known as the Manus, Devas, Manuputras, Amsavataras, Sureswaras, and Rishis. Jagya, being the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, became the leader of the demigods, Indra. So that is it. On this note, you can call it a quit now. Thank you very much. Tomorrow we continue from this verse, okay? I don't know, is this verse 7 or 10? I don't know which verse is this. Is it 7, 8, 9, or 10? Anybody that has it? Kamal, I'm not hearing you.
Yes, 8.
8.
Yes.
Okay. Wait.
So, the
next one also had no purpose, so let us read it also. Come on, pass. The next one had no purpose, so let us read the next 2 so that we can go closer. We're supposed to run fast in this place because there are... You are hurrying now, it's okay. Priya Vrata Tona Pado Manuputra Mahajasau Tat Putra Putrana Trinam Anuvritam Tat Antaram. Swayambhuva Manu's 2 sons, Priyavrata and Uttanapad, became very powerful kings, and their sons and grandsons spread all over the 3 worlds during that period. So the next one, Devautim Adatata Kadama Yatmaja Manu Tasam. Hey. Some callers interrupted my no. Stop. Don't interrupt my Sanskrit. After all, this is the last one I want to read. We go. Devauti Madatata Kadamayat Majamanu Tatsambandi Sruta Prayam Babata Gadato Mama. My dear son, so Abuba Manu handed over his very dear daughter Devauti to Kadamamuni. I have already spoken to you about them, and you have heard about them almost in full. So previously, on the third canto, we already spoke about Devauti. But from the next verse now, we are going to start talking about more about Akuti and Prasuti and their lineage. Okay? We are going to talk about that from the next verse. So it's cool we stop here so that we see you tomorrow. Exactly 7 o'clock, we are starting, and we have to stop before 9 so that the Bhakti Sastri class will not be interrupted. Hare Krishna, thank you very much for being there. We are very grateful. And it is Krishna's mercy, just as is in the first purport. The first purport, Srila Prabhupada himself was thanking the Paramparam. It is by the grace of the Paramparam that we are able to kickstart this module. And by that grace, we see that that grace will sustain us through. So by his grace, we are going to go through this very joyfully. Thank you very much, and see you tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you.
Nityananda.
Yes. You can go and enjoy yourself for the rest of the day. Haribo. See you. We run away before Kapijana Maharaj come and catch us. Hare Krishna. Ghana Sindhu, try to be in the next class in the next 15 minutes or less than 15 minutes or 10 minutes. We are starting Bhakti Sastri. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Haribo.
Thank you very much. Oh,
Yeah,
glory.
see you all tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.